The story begins with Kurono, a high school student living an ordinary but selfish life. He doesn't like getting involved in other people's problems and usually thinks only about himself. One day, while waiting at a crowded subway station, Kei unexpectedly meets his childhood friend Masaru Kato. Although they were once close, they haven't spoken for years. They exchange a few awkward words as they wait for the train. Suddenly, a drunk homeless man loses his balance and falls onto the railway tracks. The station becomes chaotic. People scream, but no one is willing to risk their own life to help him. Without thinking about the danger, Kato jumps onto the tracks to save the man. Kei hesitates because he knows a train is approaching. However, he cannot leave his old friend alone, so he jumps down to help. Working together, they manage to lift the homeless man back onto the platform. Just as they try to climb up themselves, the train arrives at full speed. They have no time to escape. The train crashes into both of them. Everything suddenly turns black. Instead of waking up in heaven or disappearing forever, Kei opens his eyes inside a strange apartment. The room looks completely normal except for one terrifying object in the middle, a giant, shiny black sphere. Kei is confused and believes he somehow survived. Soon he notices that Kato is also alive. Around them are several strangers who are just as confused. They include an elderly man, a middle-aged teacher, two violent Yakuza members, a quiet young boy named Nishi, and even a dog that suddenly appears in the room. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows how they got there. The doors and windows won't let them escape. Every attempt to leave fails. The people begin arguing, shouting, and blaming each other. Then another person suddenly appears out of thin air, as if being teleported into the apartment. This makes everyone even more frightened. One of the Yakuza starts acting aggressively and tries to intimidate the others. When he behaves inappropriately toward the newly arrived woman, Kato steps in without hesitation, showing that he is willing to protect others even in such a terrifying situation. Meanwhile, Kei is overwhelmed with fear and confusion. He keeps wondering if he is dead, dreaming, or trapped in some kind of experiment. The mysterious boy Nishi remains surprisingly calm. Unlike everyone else, he acts as if he already knows something about what is happening, but he refuses to explain much. As the tension reaches its peak, the black sphere suddenly becomes active. Words appear on its smooth surface. Your lives are over. What you do with your new lives is up to me. The room falls completely silent. A compartment opens inside the sphere, revealing strange black suits and futuristic weapons. No one understands what they are for. Finally, the sphere displays the image of a strange, alien-looking target along with a mission. Everyone realizes they are being forced into a deadly game by an unknown power. The episode ends with the group about to be teleported to their first mission, leaving viewers with a shocking cliffhanger and countless questions about the true purpose of Gantz. The mysterious black sphere, Gantz, has assigned everyone their first mission. A strange onion-shaped alien appears on the screen as their target. Before anyone can understand what's happening, they are suddenly teleported from the apartment to a quiet residential neighborhood at night. The group is completely confused. Some think it's a dream, while others believe it's a prank. Only Nishi seems calm because he has experienced this before. He tells everyone that they have been sent to kill the target shown by Gantz, but most people refuse to believe him. Each person is wearing a tight black suit given by Gantz. The suit feels unusual, but no one knows its true abilities yet. They also receive futuristic weapons, but nobody understands how to use them. Some people even leave their weapons behind, believing they won't need them. Soon, they arrive at a small house where the onion alien lives. At first, the alien doesn't look dangerous. It appears as a short, strange creature with a large onion-shaped head. It even seems frightened by the humans. Kato feels sorry for the creature and doesn't want to hurt it. Kei is also unsure about killing something that hasn't attacked them. However, Nishi warns them that if they hesitate, they will die. The situation suddenly changes. A much larger and far more terrifying alien appears. This powerful creature is extremely fast and incredibly strong. It attacks the group without warning. Panic spreads instantly. One of the Yakuza tries to fight, but is brutally overpowered. Several members of the group are seriously injured within seconds. They quickly realize this is not a game. The aliens are deadly. Nishi finally demonstrates how the Gantz weapons work. Unlike normal guns, they don't fire immediately. After pulling the trigger, There is a short delay before an invisible blast explodes inside the target, causing massive damage. Even with these advanced weapons, defeating the larger alien is extremely difficult. Kei is terrified and freezes during the battle. Kato continues trying to protect others despite the danger. Nishi fights with experience, but cannot guarantee everyone's survival. As soon as the enemy is destroyed, the mission ends. Without warning, the surviving players are teleported back to the mysterious Gantz apartment. There, a score appears on the black sphere. Each survivor receives points based on their performance during the mission. Some earn only a few points, while those who defeated aliens receive higher scores. The players learn that if someone reaches 100 points, Gantz will give them a special reward. However, nobody fully understands what that reward will be. After the scoring ends, the survivors are allowed to leave the apartment and return to their normal lives. Kei walks home in shock. Although the world looks completely normal, he realizes his life has changed forever. He now knows that at any moment, Gantz can summon him back for another deadly mission. However, nothing feels the same anymore. The horrifying memories of the Onion alien mission keep replaying in his mind. He begins to wonder whether the events really happened or if they were some kind of nightmare. Meanwhile, Masaru Kato goes back to the apartment where he lives with his younger brother, Ayumu. Kato acts as if everything is normal, but inside he is deeply affected by the people who died during the mission. He becomes even more determined to protect those around him if Gantz ever calls him again. Kurono also begins to change as a person. Before his death, he was selfish and only cared about himself. Now, after experiencing death and seeing others sacrifice themselves, he slowly starts becoming more responsible and compassionate. Elsewhere, the surviving Gantz players continue living their normal lives. But they all know the peace won't last. At any time, the Black Sphere can summon them again. Masaru Kato continues taking care of his younger brother, Ayumu. Even after everything he has experienced, Kato remains kind and selfless. His strong sense of justice makes him one of the most respected members of the Gantz group. Suddenly, without any warning, Kurono is teleported back to the Gantz apartment. One by one, familiar faces return, along with several new people who have just died and know nothing about Gantz. As before, everyone is confused, frightened, and desperately looking for answers. The Black Sphere activates and announces a new mission. This time, the target is another mysterious alien. Gantz opens and provides the players with their black suit and futuristic weapons. Unlike the first mission, Kurono now understands the importance of the black suits. Suddenly, he realized he had forgotten his suit at home. He knew he wouldn't survive without the suit. A few of the new players refuse to believe what's happening. They laugh, argue, and ignore Nishi's warnings, convinced that the whole thing is some kind of joke. Moments later, everyone is teleported to the mission area. It is late at night, and the streets are almost empty. The atmosphere is tense because old players remembers how deadly the first mission was. The new players are still confused and refuse to believe they are in real danger. Kurono and Kato try to warn them, but most of them don't listen. Soon, the mission target appears. At first, the alien doesn't look especially dangerous, but the team quickly learns that appearances are deceiving. The alien suddenly attacks with incredible speed and strength. Chaos breaks out immediately. Several inexperienced players panic and are attacked before they even understand what is happening. The delayed firing Gantz guns make fighting difficult, and poor teamwork puts everyone at risk. Kurono begins to show real growth. Instead of hiding, he starts thinking calmly and looks for the right moment to attack. Kato continues risking his own life to save others, even when it puts him in danger. During the battle, the black suits prove to be extremely useful. They increase the wearer's strength, speed, and durability, allowing the survivors to keep fighting despite powerful attacks. Working together, the experienced players slowly gain the upper hand. Kurono lands an important shot with his Gantz weapon, seriously injuring the alien. Although the immediate threat is reduced, the mission is far from over. The survivors realize that stronger enemies may still be waiting. Although they manage to survive the first attacks, the danger is far from over. The surviving players try to stay together, but fear begins to divide the group. Some want to escape, while others believe the only way to survive is to keep fighting. Kurono starts taking the situation more seriously than ever before. Instead of waiting for someone else to act, He begins making quick decisions during the battle. This marks another step in his growth from a selfish teenager into someone who can protect others. Masaru Kato continues risking his own safety to rescue injured teammates. Even when the odds are against him, he refuses to leave anyone behind. The alien launches another fierce attack, destroying parts of the surrounding area. Several players are injured, and the team realizes that a single mistake could cost them their lives. Using what they learned from earlier missions, the survivors coordinate their attacks more carefully. After a long and dangerous fight, Kurono finally manages to defeat the alien. Just as they think the nightmare is over, Gantz suddenly teleports the surviving players back to the apartment. The black sphere displays their scores based on their performance. Kurono earns more points than before, showing how much he has improved as a fighter. The survivors are then released back into the real world. And that's a wrap for today's story. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next anime story.